and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Louise and I talk about how to engage with fashion in more conscious and sustainable ways. Have you ever really wanted something but you couldn't really afford it now, so you found a cheaper alternative instead that you could buy now? Today I'm going to be talking about instant gratification and its role in our shopping behavior and our consumer patterns. What is instant gratification? Instant gratification refers to the desire to experience pleasure or fulfillment without delay. It's the urge to get something immediately rather than waiting for a more substantial reward later on. In short, instant gratification is when you act for the present rather than for the future. In shopping, instant gratification takes its form in many ways. Some are more subtle than others. For example, the convenience of scrolling through Instagram and finding something cute and then just being a few clicks away from adding it to your cart and buying it in just a matter of minutes. Or it might be the fact that you opt for express shipping at checkout in order to get your item quicker. So instant gratification is when you act on impulse to satisfy an immediate desire, even if that desire was something that you hadn't thought about before. Modern day retailers capitalize on instant gratification by offering limited time offers, easy checkout processes, and immediate delivery options to encourage you to act quick and buy now. So where does instant gratification come from? Instant gratification actually lies in human nature because evolutionary, our ancestors needed to prioritize immediate reward to survive. For early humans, seizing opportunities like eating when food was available or seeking shelter when they were in danger was crucial for survival. Delaying gratification in a harsh, unpredictable environment would mean missing out on essential resources or even facing danger. So in the past, this focus on instant rewards actually helped ensure survival because the world was full of immediate threats and scarce resources. However, in modern society, where many of our basic needs are already met, this instinct isn't crucial for our survival. Instead, it can lead to impulsive decisions that are less beneficial in the long term. This may include overspending or getting caught in an unhealthy habit or even falling into addiction. How can we identify instant gratification? There may be times where you act on instant gratification without even realizing that you do. And some examples include the urge to press snooze rather than waking up early, choosing takeout food over cooking your own meal, procrastinating on a project and doing something fun instead, scrolling through social media, or even binge watching a show because the next episode plays automatically and you don't turn it off. You may think of some of these examples as laziness or lack of discipline, but it's not. Acting on instant gratification is not always a bad thing. All humans are wired to act this way, and it's okay to act this way too, because of course we must indulge and enjoy ourselves, otherwise what would be the point of living? Having one ice cream won't ruin your diet, and putting off a task for a little while doesn't mean that you won't ever get it done. It's more when we prioritize instant gratification time and time again that it can become a problem. So for instance, claiming that we buy into fast fashion because it's all we can afford, that's not always true. I feel like it might be more to do with the fact that we want to be able to wear the latest trends and we want to wear them now. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't afford to save up to buy more timeless pieces from a more ethical brand, which we even may consider to feel boring. Of course, just to disclaim, some people can really just afford fast fashion, and that is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about people with a good financial stability who still buy from fast fashion brands and who still buy large volumes from fast fashion brands. For instance, I've seen people on TikTok doing like Shein haul worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and that is kind of the group that I'm talking about here, is when you spend a large amount of quick and cheap items rather than buying less and buying better. So I would like to argue that we can all do a little bit better by practicing delayed gratification. So delayed gratification is the opposite of instant gratification. In a world where instant gratification is very common and you may engage with it without realizing, you may want to try some of these practices instead. The more instant the reward, the more you should question it. I can't take credit for this because it's actually stated by James Clear in the audiobook Atomic Habits, which I'm currently listening to at the time, and I'm very inspired by this book, and I feel like everyone should read it, so shout out to that book. But it's a great rule of thumb, and I feel like this quote can be applied to shopping very easily. Buying a fun top for a party might seem like a good idea at the time, but you won't feel as good when you have a closet filled with like fun pieces that are very hard to style together and essentially which will last you throughout the years. So if a purchase makes you really excited, for example, a fun pair of sunglasses, it's probably more of a want rather than a need. On the flip side, if you find yourself putting off a purchase and you kind of like dread spending money on it because it's something that you find a little bit boring, like reading glasses, it's usually something that you do need and that you will wear a lot of the time, probably more so than those fun sunglasses that you are more excited to buy. So try to be more mindful about the purchases that you make. I would argue that it's probably going to be really hard to unlearn our minds instant gratification completely because it lies in our human nature. But if we are able to detect it and be aware of situations where we may be triggered by it, then we can catch ourselves before we do something that we regret. One thing that I always do is that I think about my future self. Would she be happy that I bought this item? Or would she rather that I save that money to buy something else? Or would she rather I do something and spend my time on something that is more in line with the goals that I set for myself and the way that I envision my future? So it's all about, for me, finding a balance between making my present self happy and working to benefit my future self. You shouldn't go all in for the present, nor should you focus only on the future. Another thing that I do is that I make it hard to fall through on my goals. I know that I post YouTube videos every Sunday, and that is why I film on Fridays. So that gives me 2 days to edit my video, and it gives me 5 days to do my research. I could leave this up to chance and write whenever I have time, but I actually schedule an hour in my calendar here and there, which is specifically for writing and doing research for my video. This way, it's harder for me to postpone, and I know that my future self will thank me. The same goes for my shopping. One thing that I remind myself of when trying to resist temptation when it comes to shopping is that every small action counts. So I have been wanting a new handbag for quite some time. Every month I put a very small amount of money into a separate savings account, and that account is like basically dedicated to this handbag. And believe me, there have been times where I have been thinking about just getting a cheaper alternative or something that I could essentially afford now. But I just know, like, deep down in my heart, that that other bag would never satisfy me. And that's simply because that's not the bag that I want. So what I'd like to say with this is that it's not always going to be easy. Delayed gratification comes when you are willing to put in the hard work, like saving up money or going to the gym or learning a new task to reach the results that you want. Each time that you resist temptation, you may feel proud of yourself for coming one small step closer to your goal. And that, in my case, is to shop less and only get items that I truly want and need. Let me know if you have ever heard of instant gratification and how it exists in your life. Maybe you battle with this as well, or you have some exercises that you do that you would like to share. I would love to hear more about it, so please feel free to leave a comment down below. Of course, instant gratification affects all of us in many different ways and aspects of our lives. I just wanted to briefly talk about how it relates to shopping and consumer behavior. But if you would like to learn more about this topic, I have linked a few articles in the description box down below. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to leave me a comment, share this video with a friend, or maybe subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every Sunday, so I wish you the best week ahead, and I will see you again next Sunday. Bye!